How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Hmong shaman documentaries. So today I'm going to explain in this video about some obstacles that I went through in my journey of becoming a shaman. And I'm going to be giving you guys some tips, 10 tips about what I did, how I did, and things that you can do if you want to do to try to better yourself and ease your journey. These tips are based off my own experience, and these are things that I did, and these are things that I've come up with myself. This wasn't, nobody told me to do these things. So I'm gonna say to you guys that I'm not telling you guys to do these things too. You guys can choose for yourself, decide for yourself what you guys want to do. So, in my journey, becoming a Hmong shaman, I've had a lot of issues, a lot of obstacles I had to overcome. I didn't understand anything about our culture. I didn't understand anything about Hmong shaman traditions. I could speak Hmong. Okay. I speak better English. I didn't know any of those balu, powerful words, metaphoric words. So when I do my rituals, I don't really sound like other shamans because I'm not good at those stuff, okay? So some of the obstacles I went over was lack of support. I didn't have a lot of support. From my master, from some of my family, and myself too. I was afraid. I was confused. I was stressed. I was depressed. I didn't know what to do anymore because I didn't know which path to follow. What I was doing was right or wrong. I didn't know what was going on, but to just keep going on. So my 10 tips, I want to tell you guys that what I went through and I did was number one, follow your master. If your master goes and performs a ritual, follow him or her. Go watch what he does. Go watch what he performs, how he does it, in which ways, in which process, in which steps. You need to go do that. Alright? You cannot just ask your master to call you or let you know whenever he or she performs a ritual. Because the support from the master, as I said, I didn't get so much support from the master. It comes from you. Okay? It's not their duty to make you better, to understand more, to learn more, to be the greatest. It is up to you. So I don't blame my master for not teaching me much. I blame myself for not learning what I wanted to learn. And I'm starting to understand that. That's why I'm going to tell you guys, follow your master when he goes to perform, he or she performs the ritual with other people. Alright? Number 2, record your master's rituals, ceremonies. Record over and over and over again. When you have questions, ask your master, you record it, you write it down, you watch them. You have to find a form or a way for you to record or to memorize or to understand what they do, so you can always come back to or go back to the recordings or videos to refer to when you start to understand something. Many things are gonna come and you're not gonna understand it until later on. So it's best that you record it once or twice, and when you start to understand it, you can go back to your recordings or your whatever way of documentation you guys use. You can go back to read or watch it or listen to understand what needs to be done, the process, the procedures, how to do it, how not to do it. Okay, so read number 2, record, write down, document, watch. I recorded so many videos, so many voice records, and I listened to it over and over again until I understand it. Number 3, what I'm going to explain here might be a little bit complicated for some, but it will come sooner or later, depending on you. You want to try to understand your spirit guides. You want to try to understand your Huaneng. What I mean is you have to try to determine how you communicate with them. Every shaman has different ways of communicating with their Huaneng. Okay? Some people, I believe most of the Nengqia, the newer shaman, they have, how they explain it, they have someone there that just speaks to them in the ear. Okay? I'm not a new shaman. I'm not a new generation shaman. I'm an older shaman. Neng Sao, Neng Zixing, Zizong. So I do not have the ability to hear, or I don't have that. I don't hear people talking to me or my Huaneng speaking to me, tell me what to say, what to do, how to do it. Okay? I don't have any of that stuff. So how I understood my Huaneng was like this. I've always had issues of my own, and I would think about it. I would think about my issues, my questions, and I would try to find a solution for my own questions. I ended up answering my own questions the correct way. I noticed the answers I've always gotten when I thought about what to do. The answers to those questions, most of the times, 99.8% of the times, were correct. And what to do, the best way of doing things, the easiest way of doing things, and the safest way. I soon started to understand after probably a year and a half into my journey, after I already had my altar and I was performing already, I started to understand that was my way of communicating and understanding my Huaneng. So I put it to a test. You gotta test it to see if it's really right in order to believe it. So I would question myself, okay? I would question myself about certain things. kind of like, how come people that are very rich, that don't spend any of the money, still want more money? How come the poor or the people that cannot even spend their money for anything still want money? I would ask myself questions like these to test myself, to see if it's my Huaneng that's giving me the answers, or if it's just myself. Well, I mean, it is myself, but you know what I'm trying to say. So when I ask myself that, to me it seems like I have three minds, three people inside me, three decision-making people, okay? Spirits, whatever you want to call it. One is my conscience. Two is myself. Three is my heart. When I ask myself a question, or my Huaneng a question, my conscience, they drive me to do it. Okay? They reason for me to do it. Good or bad, it doesn't matter. They reason for me to do something or to not do something without having any kind of emotions. So then there's my heart that makes decisions based off of feelings, empathy, sympathy, feeling sad, feeling good, whatever you want to feel. They base it off of that. And then there's myself. I make the final decision to choose whether I should listen to my heart or if I should listen to my conscience. But both of those, I soon realized that were my Huaneng that I was speaking to. Because when I started to ask them questions like before, I started to come up with answers I have never would imagine I would think about. It's not me thinking about it. It's my Huaneng that was thinking about it. They were giving me answers that I would never, ever even think about. When they give me those answers, myself, I will make my decision to choose. I soon realized that a lot of the answers they gave me makes a lot of sense. I don't know if I've explained this once in another video, but I'll explain it again. An example. Okay. I asked my Huaneng this. I said to myself, my conscience, my Huaneng, how come right now there's so much shamans? There is so much newer generation shamans coming out, and not a lot of old shamans, older generation shamans. I said, what is going on? This is what they explained to me. Okay? You can choose to agree and disagree. I don't care what you choose to believe or feel. But this is what they said. They said to me, and I totally agree. They said to me that there's going to be a big change in this world. Okay? There's going to be different sicknesses. There's going to be different issues, different problems. The modern world is evolving. Medicine, technology. They also need to adapt to that. So they need to evolve as well. They need to try out new skills to see if it's an error or not. So their trial and error is to send a lot of shaman guides, Huaneng, to a lot of multiple people in this world right now. Okay? each shaman guy, Kwaneng, that gets sent down to a person to become a shaman has different abilities. They send them all down and test to see if this Kwaneng or this shaman will work with that kind of ability. They test to see if this one will work, to see if that one will work. The ones that work, they keep track of. The ones that do not work, they get rid of. Okay? They get rid of the ones that don't work. What happens to them? Okay, some people call them Nengvu. That's what they call them. Some people call it Nengvu. Or Nengchi. That's what they say. So I said to my Kwaneng, you are gonna do that. You're gonna have a lot of people that are sick. Why would you do that? Why would you send all your Kwaneng? Why would there be so much Kwaneng sent down to have people become shamans to punish them if they're not successful and make them Nengvu, make them crazy, psycho, whatever you guys have seen or experienced? They say, well, think of it like this. You have 1,000 people, okay? You can keep things the same and save, or you can keep things the same and save 500 people, okay? And have 500 people be sick. Or would you rather have 100 people be sick to save 900 people? Makes sense, right? You're willing to sacrifice 100 people to save 900 people. You're willing to sacrifice the Nengvu right now so that you can save the next 5, 6, 7 generations. Then I said, well, then if you're gonna do that, then how come I'm not? And they said to me, well, we need people like you still. We still need the Ning Gu, Ning Zixing, Zizong. Why? So you guys can save the Ning that was not able to succeed. Sounds like shit. I said, oh dang. Makes a lot of sense. You have to find your form of communication, your way of understanding. Some people, like I said, speak to them. Some people are like me that speak to them in their mind, conscience. Some people need to go to the altar. Some people just see them there. Some people dream about them. You find your way to understand. Number 4, do not be afraid to try. Okay? Do not be afraid to try new things. Okay? If you went to see your master and your master performed a ritual, say your master is going to cleanse a house and you're starting your journey, do not be afraid to try that. You're still training. If anything happens, your master will take care of you. If things don't work out, he will take care of you. Alright, so do not be afraid to try. But, number 5, you must know your own capabilities. If you are afraid to try something, then do not try it. Only try things that you feel comfortable with. If you feel you have confidence and you feel you're not afraid to try, then try it. You must know your own capabilities. There's nobody else that can measure your own capabilities besides yourself. Number 6, take a step forward. Do not be a prisoner of your own style. Do not be afraid to take a step forward. By this I mean, don't always stay at one spot. If you're trying to learn how to say a verse, okay, don't get stuck on that verse over and over and over again. If there's another verse that you understand already that's after, then skip that verse and try something else. Move forward, because eventually what's going to happen is you're just going to somehow know it. You're just going to learn it somehow. So take a step forward. Some shamans will tell you, Hmong shaman. Keep going. Because they're trying to tell you that you should just take a step forward. If you get stuck, just keep going. Alright? Number 7. Try to understand the purpose of what's happening. If your master is performing a ritual, try to understand what he's trying to do. Why is he doing it this way? What is he doing? Try to understand it. Because when you start to try to understand it, you're going to start deciphering all these things in your mind, or what you're calling, and you're going to find the answer. And when you know the answer, then you will not be afraid to try to take a step forward, and you are going to know your capabilities. Okay? You need to try to understand the purpose of what's happening. Do not doubt yourself. Number 8. Okay, do not doubt yourself. Do not think that you're not capable of doing something. Do not think that you're not going to succeed becoming a shaman, because doubt is what makes failure. I didn't know anything. I have doubted myself a few times, thinking to myself, am I really a shaman? Or is this just all made up? Is this just all, bullshit? I started to doubt myself. But I thought over it a lot. Even though I doubted myself, I kept looking forward. And I started to realize all those doubts was wrong. I proved to myself to not doubt it, because anything can happen, can work if you try. Number 9, have a goal, have a purpose in your shamanic or your shaman journey. My goal, I want to be able to help people, save people. I don't want to see someone suffering, because I've been through a lot of suffering, physically and mentally. That's why I have these videos, because I know there's a few people here that just don't understand this kind of culture, this practice, this tradition, just like me. What I do here is against my practices. I try not to cross the line, and there's times where I do cross the line. But I'd rather cross the line and have 10 of you guys crossed the line safely. Have a goal and have a purpose. If your goal is to just have an altar and just have your Huaneng there and then you just watch over them, then do that. You don't have to perform rituals. You don't have to perform ceremonies. You can just have an altar and do nothing besides taking care of the altar. So know your purpose and know your goal so you can understand what to do next, how to step forward. And last, this is the biggest one. You have to ask if you do not understand. You need to ask your master. You need to ask your master's helper. You need to ask people around why things are done a certain way, why things are this way, how are things like this, how to speak this word, how to say this word. Why? Ask. You need to. You need to ask because your master's not going to come to you and say, hey, you need to say it like this. No. If you want to get better and you want to learn, then you need to ask. You need to ask about it. He doesn't know what you want to learn. He doesn't know your purpose. He doesn't know your goal. You can say that your goal is this and then switch your mind instantly, right? You need to ask. And the biggest, most important person in your life to ask is your master. If you do not have a master, you need to ask your Huaneng, if that's the way you were raised into this journey. Because I believe there are some Huaneng Chia that are able to perform these, to become Itu Nia Neng Si Neng, a shaman, by just listening to their Huaneng. Okay, that's freaking awesome. You need to ask, okay? If you don't ask, you'll never know. You don't play, you'll never win. You have to ask questions. It's very, very, very important. Ask how to say things. Ask why they do certain things. Ask everything, okay? So these are the 10 things that I have for you guys as tips, advice, whatever you want to call it. Take it, leave it, up to you. I'm not forcing you guys. But I understand fully that this is not an easy journey for younger generation people such as I. Someone that doesn't understand anything about our tradition and our cultures. I know how hard it is. It's hard when you come to a point where you just don't know what to do anymore. You get confused. You just get a headache. You get heartbroken. Your life is just a mess. I know how that feels. It's painful. And nobody else can deal with it besides you. You're the only one that has to feel that way. And if you don't want to feel that way, then you have to do something about it. Nobody's going to come and say, oh, let me do this for you. If you want to change, you need to change. No one else is going to make you change. If you don't understand how to do it, then you need to ask. That is very, very important. Do not be afraid to ask your master. If you have a master. And if you don't, do not be afraid to ask yourself or your Huaneng or the people around you, someone that knows more. But you have to be careful. Okay? You have to be careful about the things people say sometimes. Because a lot of the things people say, they do not say it based off of their own experience. I'm speaking this out of my own experience. Someone else can tell you based off of my experience, but it's not their experience. So it's not true. Unless it's more true if it's based off of someone that has experienced it already firsthand. So I hope this video helped you guys. Any questions, please just leave a comment below. Like I said, I know I probably explained a little bit of this in previous videos, but I just wanted to have one video specifically just for this, because everywhere I see is just younger people doing this stuff. So, thank you. Have a good day.